Hi there, welcome to Alchemy. In this video we bring you the June forecast for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising sign. Would you like to know how this month is going to go? Just carry on with us. Okay, so here we have the spread for Libra for June, okay? Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. For those of you who may have any doubts regarding your Rising sign or your Moon sign, I'm going to leave you here with a video. Even though it's in Portuguese, it's fairly easy to understand. It's very graphical, so it's pretty straightforward where I show you how to make your natal chart online for free, okay? And immediately identify your ascendant and your moon, your ascendant or rising sign and your moon sign, okay? So I'm going to leave that here. All you have to do is just press on the cards. So if you are coming here for the first time, if it's the first time here on the channel, so welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please do and press on the bell so that you know when we have new videos here on the channel, okay, so that you always have the notifications. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. It always helps the channel, and it's very good to know that we have been able to help someone on the other side. And please don't forget to share this video with those that you may think that would be that would benefit from listening to these words. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the spread. So we have here as the energy of the month the card of the Lovers. So what does this tell me? Together with the rest of the spread, I would say that this is going to be a very mental month. Why? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards of air. Air is mind, is thought. Thought process, worries, using your mind, knowledge. So this is a very mental month. Then you have 1 earth card and 2 fire cards. So what does this tell me is that mainly your process is all going to be mental, and then you have here a little bit of earth, a little bit of fire, to a little bit of earth to make stuff concrete, make stuff real, and then a little bit of fire so that you have the initiative, the willpower, the strength to go on. But none of this goes on the emotional side, okay? So the emotional side is not going to play much of a part this month, even though your emotions, of course, they're always involved, in any of these situations. It's your mind that's going to be the area to look for, okay? So, where all the situations are going to be developed. So here we have the card of the Lovers, that comes with Archangel Raphael and talks about intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, and good health. The 6 of Fire, 6 of Wands, talks about victory, good news is on its way, and public recognition or awards. So, what can we expect from this month? We can expect a month where we have to make choices. The card of the Lovers is a card that talks about choices, making choices with the information that you have right now, which doesn't quite give you the complete notion of how things will turn out in the end. Usually this card is associated with a Greek myth. Of course, mythology permeates all of these languages, and it would be associated with the apple of discord, pommel of discord, that is just going very swiftly through the legend, through the myth. It would be a golden apple that was left at the Olympus that had engraved the phrase "for the most beautiful." And Zeus didn't want to deal with that because 3 goddesses came forward: Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena. So he didn't want to meddle with his wife or his daughter or the goddess that was responsible for love affairs, which he was quite keen on. So he said, okay, this is not my stuff. I'm gonna find someone who is the best for this. So there was a shepherd whose name was Paris, that was the best one to judge cattle. I'm sorry about the sort of depreciative idea, but hey, that's the way the myth goes. And he was the best to judge cattle and to judge a lot of stuff. And so God Zeus thought, hey, this is the guy that I'm gonna ask for help. And he swept him up to the Olympus and told him, hey, you have these 3 goddesses here, do your best. And the 3 goddesses came forward with offers. So Hera turned to Paris and said, if you give me the apple, I will make you the most powerful man on earth. Aphrodite came around and said, if you give me the apple, I will turn you into the wisest person alive, the best strategist. There will be no one that can be compared to you in wisdom and knowledge. And Aphrodite turned around and said, hey, if you give me the apple, I will give you the love of the most beautiful woman on earth. This little guy, Paris, the shepherd, was actually Paris, the youngest son of the king of Troy, that was left to die due to a forecast where it said that this new prince would bring destruction to Troy. Go figure. So what happened? He obviously favored Aphrodite, and Aphrodite granted him the love of Helen, that was married to Agamemnon. The most beautiful woman alive was Helen. She was married to another king, and he didn't quite like it when she ran away with Paris. So once he did so, he had already been recognized as the Prince of Troy. And Agamemnon just thought it would be a good idea to start a war. So we had the War of Troy, where all that destruction took place, and where Ulysses took place, Odysseus, whichever way you prefer to say its name. Odysseus made the Trojan horse and all that. So yeah, that turned out well. So that's the core of the myth. He had to make a choice, and he chose what suited him the best. I mean, for him, he was a shepherd. Why would I need wisdom? Why do I need power? I don't want power. I don't need wisdom. I just want a nice woman to settle down and have children and be happy. So that's what he chose. But he didn't know all the implications that this choice would bring. So that's the myth, and that's the point of this card. You have to make the choice with what you have right now without really knowing where that choice is going to take you. So that's why it says for you to carefully weigh your decisions, because right now this is going to take you through a certain path. Is this what you want for you? Don't think too much ahead. Don't think on the safest option, but think on what overall, how would this make you feel, and how do you overall think where this may take you? Because since this comes with the Six of Fire, the Six of Fire talks about public recognition, talks about victory. So I would say that the choices that you make this month will make you feel very good about yourself, okay? Can actually put you in a position where you feel free and victorious, can grant you some glory. I mean, if you have to make choices, for example, regarding your work, and those choices help you to move things along further, you may be recognized for your hard work, something like that, okay? So I believe that the choices that you make this month are positive, or will take you in a positive path. But keep in mind that no matter what you choose right now, you don't have all the information on how this choice is going to develop further on, okay? By the way, if you want me to do some videos on mythology or something, if this is interesting to you, to describe you the myths, the gods, and how this can connect to symbolic languages such as tarot, astrology, and so on, please tell me something on the comment box, and I'll be more than glad to do a series on that subject. Okay, so as the obstacle of the month, as the challenge for this month, we have the card of the World and the Queen of Air. The card of the World comes with Archangel Michael and talks about the job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, and the path towards enlightenment. The Queen of Air describes someone that, if we're talking about a person, would be independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, and talks about objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. So, the card of the World talks about an end of something, the end of a cycle, okay? Not quite like the card of death or like the card of the Tower, where something is broken down. In this case, something has finished its course, okay? Something is done, completely finished. It's the finished work, okay? And so it may be the case that you are either wrapping up stuff in your life, finishing some work, some stages in your work, and preparing the new season. Either you may be finishing some stuff in your personal life. Either you are feeling that you need to get rid of a lot of stuff that has been weighing you down. You may also feel like you need to travel, to open your mind, broaden your horizons. But this is a card that's seen as a challenge. It's something that even though you want it, and even though you know that you need it, for you right now, it's kind of difficult to accommodate this into your life. And since the Queen of Air talks about objective decision making, I would say that actually that would be your challenge. In a month where you actually need to make decisions, it will be hard for you to be objective, because maybe your mind is filled with a lot of stuff and you need to decide and set and identify what you need to finish before you can move on, okay? And you may feel like you're in a good position right now and you want to carry on that wavelength, and it's not exactly what you need to do. You actually need to finish stuff, wrap up stuff, so that you can move on to the next challenge, move on to the next stage. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to contact with different people. Something comes also with the card of the World, contacting with different people from abroad, foreigners, something of the sort. And you may not want to do that. You may not want to deal with that. And it may be something that you need to acknowledge and to accept. And right now you are not quite feeling it, okay? So it may be hard for you to make those decisions. It may be hard for you to clear what is, to clear away what is already being a hindrance, because it's just too much weight on your mind. Okay, coming with the Queen of Air, it's mind weight. It's too much stuff going on in your mind that you no longer need to worry about, or that is something that will just solve itself naturally without you having to put any energy into it, okay? So careful with this situation, because this may be a source of stress, okay, and might hinder you in the course of this month on what you actually need to do. That is, make decisions and take action on those decisions. So let's see regarding how we are this month. And for love, we have the card of the Release, or Death, in most of the decks, and the Six of Air. Card of Release is coming with the Archangel Azrael and talks about the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, and time to move on. The Six of Air talks about things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, and taking a trip. So both cards complete each other, which is great, okay? At the same time, you have here the information that you need to release something. It comes also with the card of the World and the Lovers, because In the world, you need to finish something, wrap up something, and in the Lovers, you need to make decisions. And whenever you make a decision, all other possibilities, they are no longer possible. Okay, so that's it. This card of the Release also talks about this. In this case, it talks about releasing of the situations, the ending of stages, the renewal of something, but in your love life. So how do we look at this? It may be the case that if you are in a relationship, that you need to have a honest conversation with the person that you are with, because with this Six of Air, it may be the case that you have been going through a rough patch and you need to clear the air. You need to just decide what doesn't make sense to you anymore, what is weighing the relationship down and needs to be cleared away. Okay, it may be the case that you need to understand that this stage has come to an end. You need to move forward. So you need to transform something in this relationship. It's not a breakup. It would be an honest conversation in order for things that need to be changed to change. Okay? It's time to move on. For example, if you have grudges from something that happened a while ago, it's time to clear the air. Do like this Six of Air. It's move along. Come from this place of turmoil, hurt, and actually own the situation and move on to the next stage, a place where everything is calmer and safer. It may also be the case that you need to reassess your position within the relationship. If things have to change, if you have to step up for something, okay? So it's time to move on. It's time to follow along to the next stage, okay? To renovate something, to give it a new strength by sort of killing what no longer makes sense there. And to kill it, you need to be very, very honest, including mentally speaking and communicating with the other part. If you are alone, it may be the case that you are ending this stage where you had to be alone. Okay, it may be the case that you need time to need a little bit of time and a little bit of help to transform the way you see yourself, the way you see your emotional needs. So for those of you who are in a relationship, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a breakup, but that indeed there is a need for an honest conversation. For those of you who are alone, I don't think that anyone is going to come up, not at all, but you may need to either go into a retreat to make peace with yourselves and to what you thought that might have been the problem in past relationships, or where you think that you might have failed on past relationships. You have to make peace with yourselves and with the situations, or the fact that you attracted that person wasn't right for you, and even though you did everything right, it just didn't work out, okay? And you need to make peace with that. You need to end this stage, end this position, end this state of mind, okay? This needs to be released. You need to transform it. You need to grow, to let it grow in you, a new you, okay? So that you can move on, okay? So regarding your love life, not too stellar, but very, very healing. Let's see about your work, your money, I'm sorry. Let's see about your money. In your money, we have the Dreamer, or the Fool usually, and the Five of Air. So, the Fool comes with the Archangel Metatron and talks about a leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. The Five of Air, or Five of Swords, talks about an unwise choice, learn what you can from the situation, review everyone's motives. So, what would I see here regarding your money? First of all, the card of the Fool is exactly that. a fool. When it comes to money, that's it. It talks about irresponsibility. It talks about unexpected stuff happening, unexpected expenses. It talks about money coming and going very, very easily, more going than coming. Most unfortunately, more money going out than money coming in. So in this case, I would say that it's not that good of a month regarding money for you, for Libra. It may be a tricky month in this case, coming with the 5 of air. Either you invest in something that's not the best for you, or you spend money that shouldn't be spent that way, or I would even say for you to look at your bank account and see if there's nothing that has been subtracted from you without you knowing. For example, commissions, that's the word I was looking for. Bank commissions that are being charged to you without you knowing, without you being aware, or stuff that should have been cancelled that are still being paid through your bank account. Look at that, because the card of the 5 of air, it's not a card that speaks necessarily about misdeeds, but it's a card that talks about disagreements. So it may be the case that they are charging you extra for something, or are charging you more interest for borrowed money or something, and you're not quite seeing yourself eye to eye. So you need to communicate this, and I wouldn't say argue, but use some pretty strong arguments to present a strong case to defend your position, okay? Because this is a card that usually talks about a fight, a fight of words, but where you need to be very skilled to achieve a result. So this may be the case that you need to negotiate something with someone. When this talks about an unwise choice, it may be the case that you are either investing or borrowing money to someone, not from someone, but to someone, and things are not too clear, and you may lose that money. When it talks about reviewing everyone's motives, just see if your situation is as fair as possible. Try to look to put yourself in the other person's shoes, in someone else's shoes. Try to see what's going on. But keep in mind that this month, it's a month for you not to count too much on your money, okay? So be careful with this, because even though you count every penny, I'm more than sure that by the end of the month, something weird's gonna happen with the money, and it's going to be a little bit of a tight spot, okay? It doesn't mean that you might go lacking. It may happen, but be careful, okay? Because it may be a little bit tricky. Then regarding your health. Regarding your health, we have the card of the Star. It's one of the best cards that you can get in tarot. Okay, it's called a Small Blessing. The Star comes with Archangel Jophiel and talks about happy times, make positive, optimistic, and long-term plans on the right path. And comes with the Ace of Air. The Ace of Air talks about brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. How would I see this regarding your health? The card of the Star, usually it's a card that talks about protection. So even though if you are going through a situation of disease wherein you are not well, keep in mind that this card either brings you a little bit more stamina, brings you a renovation of energy, or it may bring you a cure, okay? It's nothing, usually this card would represent that it's nothing to be worried on. If you have any sort of illness or situation, it will be nothing for you to be worried about. Or in case that there is actually something to be worried about, you are protected. Someone is looking after you, okay? So it might not be as bad as you might think. There may be an easy fix or hope or a situation where things will be getting better than you expect, okay? It's usually a card that talks also about healing, obviously, and also about water, because as you see, she has two jars in her hand where she is pouring water from. And so the water might be a factor that is crucial for you to attain cure. You may need to go through a detox. You may need to go through a water circuit in a spa. You may need to go to a thermal facility. You may need to go to have some sort of just, for example, for you to feel renewed, like replenished, go through a jacuzzi session or soak into a hot bath, something that will bring water into your situation and helping you feel better with it, okay? So water may be preponderant, maybe the case that you just need to drink some water to avoid getting a kidney infection or a bladder infection. So water, lots and lots of water to help you keep your health or improve your health right now. The Ace of Air, usually the aces are a confirmation of whatever is going on the major arcana. So in this case, I would say that you would need to keep in mind that you need to drink water, and that if something shows up in your health, it may have a rough start, but then everything will go all right, okay? So you will see everything truthfully, you will see everything for what it is, everything will be explained to you clearly, and you'll know what path to take so that everything is taken care of and you can regain your health as quickly as possible. Regarding your work, now your work actually, you have the Awakening, the card of the Awakening, or the Hangman, coming with Archangel Gabriel, and talks about look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill, and it's important to be yourself. Comes with the Two of Fire, and the Two of Fire talks about you've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. So the card of the Two of Fire, sorry, I think I said Two of Air, it's Two of Fire. The card of Two of Fire is a card that talks about a strong personality. A card talks about success. A card talks about faith. That talks about the ability to feel, I wouldn't say entitled, but I would say empowered. All right, you are right, and you know the truth, and you know it. You're right, and you know it, and so you have confidence on the path that you have chosen. Okay, so in this case, regarding your work, I would say that you may need to look at stuff differently. Coming with the card of the Lovers as a card of the month, you may need to make some choices, and before you do, look at things from different perspectives. Don't close your mind to just one way of seeing, thinking, or processing stuff around you, okay? Because sometimes looking at stuff from a different perspective will give you a completely new idea, and then you can use your leadership, you can use your ability to convey that idea in such an enthusiastic way. We're talking about fire here. You can show stuff in such an enthusiastic way that you can bring people with you into your idea and make things happen. Okay, so in this case, one talks about a standstill, the other talks about continuing to move forward. So I would say that in the beginning of the month, stuff is going to be a little bit slow in your work. You're going to feel a little bit lost, but after a bit, you are going to gain momentum, and then stuff will solve itself out, okay? And you will have different perspectives to present and different ideas on how to approach the situation. If you are looking for a job, it may be the case that right now you are not going to find anything. With this card, this is a card that talks about a standstill, of course. So you may not find anything right now, but because you look at stuff from a different perspective, you change something, okay? Either you change your resume, or you change where you are looking or what you're looking for. Look at stuff from a different perspective also on how you present yourself to possible bosses, okay? And I believe that further on, someone will call on you from the interview that you are making right now. I won't say that you would find anything this month, but if you keep sowing from a different point of view, you are going to be successful. Not right now, but maybe until the end of the month, something will show up, or maybe at the beginning of next month, something will show up that will help you get a job or actually be hired, okay? Regarding your spirituality, we have the card of balance or temperance coming with Archangel Zadkiel and talking about the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. And this card comes with the Knight of Earth, that if we were talking about a person, we'd be talking about someone loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind, and talks about time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments, a guardian angel. So, the card of the Temperance is a card that also talks about transmutation. As you can see, the angel has 2 cups and water is being poured from one cup to the other. Okay, so this is tarot talking about transformation, transmutation. Okay, so it may be the case that regarding your spiritual life, whichever spiritual practices you may have, or even if you don't have any defined spiritual practices, it may be that you need to look at whatever it is that helps you feel balanced, okay? So in this case, this card comes to you saying that you need to transform a little bit to balance whatever is going on in your life, okay? So that you have space for your spiritual life, because the Knight of Earth talks about you having room for everything, because it's time to buckle down and get things done, as it says. It's time for you to look at your spiritual life and change whatever you feel that needs to be changed, transform what you feel that needs to be transformed. So in case you just dedicate a lot of your time to your spirituality and you forget about life out here, it may be the case that you need to look a little bit more into what life has to offer you. If you're just living the mundane life, going to work, having fun with your friends, and working, taking care of your home and taking care of your body, but you forget about your spiritual side, it's time that you take that into account for a balanced life. But whatever it is that you're doing, just pull your sleeves up and start working on it. Start working on rebalancing your life, okay? That's one of the keys of this card. And the card of spirituality is usually transversal through the whole game, because spirituality is achieved by living, actually. So this is very transversal. So in case that, if for you to balance your life, you need to make choices, you need to finish stuff, you need to release stuff, you need to see the little blessings around you, you need to incorporate the whole game. So in this case, I would say, look at your life, look at what needs to be balanced, and know that the angels are with you to give you a hand in that. So let's see what the Masters have to tell you, and Ascended Masters and the Isis Oracle. The Isis Oracle is this one by Elena Fairchild. It's beautiful and it's super, super complete. I'm in love with this oracle. Let's see about the Ascended Masters. We have the goddess Lakshmi coming with the flow of prosperity, which is always a wonderful letter. A wonderful card. I'm sorry. I'm Portuguese, so sometimes I kind of mess stuff up. So, Goddess Lakshmi talks about prosperity. It's a Hindu goddess of prosperity that helps overcome financial fears. She's usually depicted with coins coming out of her hands or coming out of a basket or sitting on top of a pile of coins. So it's very usual to have this card coming around in a financial sticky spot. And she comes and tells you that this card indicates that your prayers about finances have been heard and answered. Tap into your manifestation power by focusing on abundance instead of worrying about money. Okay, you have nothing to fear. A new flow of prosperity is supporting you and your loved ones. Additional meanings for this card may be: stop worrying about money. Worries only attract money problems. Everything's going to be okay, especially with respect to finances. You have the support to make a desired life change right now and visualize and affirm prosperity. Okay, so here we come with the money card. So choices that may not have been that positive, that the goddess Lakshmi comes around and say, hey, look, things are going to look up. Don't focus on the bad, focus on what you already have and what kind of prosperity you may see in your life. Okay, then with the Isis goddess, with the Isis oracle, we have the key of life, and it talks about spinning the ankh, the key of life. And this card says as follows: the key of life is the mysterious ankh, the looped cross held in the hand of Isis. This mystery is opening to you now. The ankh portends new life being born through you now. It could be in a creative sense, or in a physical sense in terms of health, or even a child that wishes to be born, or a new project that needs to be creative in service to humanity. This new life being born, in whatever form, will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Let it happen. The end comes as a blessing and confirmation that new life is seeking to express itself through you now, and encouragement that you allow this to occur. Something has started to be born through you at this time. See it through, beloved. Don't let it struggle to survive from lack of attention or care, or belief that it will not be enough in any way, or it will be too hard to handle once it is created. The Ankh says that life will prevail and your creation will come to pass. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. If you are unsure of what your creative destiny may be, or unaware of the exact nature of the new life being born through you now, remember that sometimes the creation will be a project or object, a relationship, or a new human life. Sometimes it is even a new way of thinking that is wise and heart-centered and will be available for others to draw nourishment from, as an alternative to more destructive and addictive thought patterns which humans can struggle with from time to time. So, as you can see, this may be the case of you being seen as an inspiration, or it may be the case that if you are seeking for a card talking about fertility, it may be the case. The card of death in love also may signal that the end of a stage and changing into the next phase in your relationship. It might be that. Usually this is not the kind of card that would show that, but with the rest of the reading it may be the case. So this is a very interesting reading for Libra. I hope that this made sense for you. I hope that this helped you, and that you have inspiration for the rest of the month coming from this spread. And I hope to see you again in the next video. See you soon.